Hello everyone, welcome to Introduction to Deep Learning. For this recitation, I will introduce some fundamental knowledge about Python that you are going to use for the later homework. Because Python is the main language that you're going to use for the entire course, it is really helpful for you to get familiar with programming with Python. First, let's start with the data types within Python. Just as other language within Python, you have different data types you can use to assign some values to some variables. So here, the first is about numeric data types. Here, we are going to introduce and also discuss about integers and float. For integers, you can assign a value to variables by equal. And also you can casting some float numbers into the integers by use int. And for the float, for the float type, you can also assign some values to some variables use equal. And then also if you have an integer that is divided by some other values, it will automatically convert it to a float number. And also within Python, especially within NumPy, there are two types of float numbers, that is float 64 and float 32. At this moment, you don't have to fully understand what does this mean, but it will be really helpful for your implementation of about further deep learning model that you can convert those float types. And also for float numbers, you can do round, cell, and floor for those numbers to get some closed number. And the second part is about sequence types. For sequence types, the first we are going to introduce list. List is a mutable sequence that you can use to store elements. So here, all those elements can be only one types or can be multiple types. As these two examples, the first one we store only integers within one list. For the second one, we store integers and also string within one list. And also for list, you can create the list by use something called comprehension, which is a very simple way that you can compress the for loop and operations of the list into a one-line simple code. Tuple is another ordered sequence types that you can use to store those elements that you are not going to change anymore. So here you also can store only one types or multiple types. And then you can also access those elements within tuple by index, just as list. And range is a very special way in Python that you can use to create or to store a series of numbers. And to be noticed here, in Python, the range number is a starting may have a starting number and an ending number, but the end number is not included within this range. For example, range 10 actually means a number from 0 to 9, but 10 is not included. Set is an unordered data type that can store elements without order. And also for set, we can now store duplicated elements, which means that if you're going to store some elements that is already existed in this set, it will just ignore this new adding. And mapping is also another type that you probably got familiar from other language that you can use to store key value pair. And then you can look up some value by its key. And also for the dictionary, you can update those elements within the dictionary by use multiple ways about get and also about to access them by the key itself. And the second part is about conditional statement and loops. Conditional statement is also very useful and commonly seen from other languages that you can use if, else to control your logical flow. Loops is a way that you can do iteration for multiple times. So here in Python, there are two type of loop. The first is a for loop. The second is a while loop. For all of them, you can do the iteration, and also you can do the iteration for multiple types as long as the condition is satisfied. And the third part is about saving and loading files. Things for your homework, you may use the Python, try to read some data set and also try to write your results to the CSV file and then submit them into Kaggle. So getting familiar with how to read and write file, especially CSV file within Python, will be really helpful for you to finish homework. The last part is about comprehension. I extract this part as a unique, as an independent chapter because I think comprehension is a very unique way for Python programming. It's a way that you can compress the generation of a list or a set into a very simple, elegant one-line code. So here, basically, what the comprehension did is it compressed the for loop and also the condition and operations of those for loops within a one-line code and use the result generated from this one-line code to create the set or list. So this is really helpful. It can improve your code quality and also can make your code really easy to understand and also shorten your code. So I highly recommend to get familiar with those comprehension and try something within your homework. So yeah, that is about this recitation. Hope you can get something from this recitation. Thank you.